Episode 437 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic is live on this Saturday night. We will be recapping today's WWE Money in the Bank Premium Live event. Who walked out of London as Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank in the Money in the Bank ladder matches, and who survived the Bloodline Civil War. Also, tonight we'll be recapping tonight's episode number 3, AEW Saturday Collision, who advanced in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and we had CM Punk on commentary during the main event. All that and much more right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic Live. Welcome, Wrestling Fanatics, to 360 Wrestling Fanatic, and special live episode right now on this Saturday night, July 1st, on this big pro wrestling day that we had. Just a reminder, actually, the day got kicked off early this morning here at 5 a.m. In case you missed it, special, supersized, extended edition of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, where I had a recap of this morning's night 2 of Impact Wrestling's Down Under tour and a Money in the Bank preview. And then on this episode, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic Live, I am going to be recapping that very Money in the Bank card. No. And also tonight's episode of AEW Saturday Collision. And let's get right into it. I just want to note, though, that I guess you could say just a quick programming note to start things off on this special live episode. And I just want to say I was still at work when Money in the Bank started, so I was not able to time the matches, and I know I'm normally not the best note taker anyway, but I was not able to take that great of notes. And so for about the first hour or so, I believe, I was maybe a little more than an hour, I was still at work. And then even on the walk home, I was watching on my phone on Peacock. But yes, I did see Money in the Bank, and I'm going to talk about it right now in tonight's WWE Money in the Bank, which, yes, of course, like everybody here in North America, watched it this afternoon. But WWE Money in the Bank 2023 was live in London, England at the O2 Arena. And our commentators for tonight, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, which is no surprise since Wade Barrett is from England. Not too much of a surprise that they would have him on commentary for his show. So, only Friday Night SmackDown was represented on commentary tonight, but I thought that was a fine choice. I thought Cole and Barrett did a pretty good job today on commentary. And we kicked things off live in the O2 Arena. Starting things off is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Damian Priest, Butch, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, and Shinsuke Nakamura. And I thought this was quite a fun way to kick off the PLE today. I actually thought this match was better than I expected. There were some good spots, and even though I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of Logan Paul, but I thought he was, again, had a pretty good performance, just like some of the matches he had, especially the one against Roman Reigns and the match against Seth Rollins he had. He actually did pretty good in this one. And him and Ricochet, after that crazy spot they had in the Royal Rumble this year, colliding in the middle of the ring. And both of them at one point went through a table, or two tables, I should say. And this men's Money in the Bank ladder match is won by the Judgment Day's Damian Priest at 20 minutes, 25 seconds. And I know I said I didn't time the matches, but I did look them up, so that's how I know the times. And I thought this one was a pretty good match. And Damian Priest is now not Mr. Money in the Bank, but Senior Money in the Bank. And we will see Mr. Priest a little later on this card. But Money in the Bank continues with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The former champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, challenging the champions Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And this one is, the ending of it anyway, was not what I was expecting. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan getting the win to win back the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. This morning on Good Morning Wrestling Fans, I was wrong in my prediction. I predicted Rousey and Baszler to go over. They did not. I was wrong about that, which, like I said, I was a little surprised. But not just that, I was surprised about how they won. And we saw Shayna Baszler turn on her partner and longtime friend Ronda Rousey. Definitely wasn't expecting that. Don't know about anybody else. And we have new WWE women's tag team champions for the second time, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, at 9 minutes. This one is definitely interesting, and I'm guessing this is going to lead into a feud between Rousey and Baszler. Could possibly see that match at SummerSlam. I would say that probably could be a possibility here August 5th in Detroit. We could maybe see that. And in case maybe you didn't notice watching this premium live event today, but it was sponsored by Bud Light. And like they said, winning the women's tag team championships and winning the Money in the Bank ladder match are hard, but it's easy enjoying Bud Light. I don't know, maybe you heard that a few times on this card tonight. And Bud Light, new sponsor of WWE. And next up, here on Money in the Bank, the WWE Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Gunther taking on the original Bro, Matt Riddle. And this one I got right because it was Gunther defeating Riddle to retain the IC Championship at 7 minutes 45 seconds. Pretty good match here. Gunther and Riddle, I thought they worked pretty well together, but it is Gunther retaining the IC title in this match, just as I predicted this morning on Good Morning Wrestling Fans. And next up, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, taking on Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom, with his mommy Rhea Ripley. And Cody gets the win, 8 minutes 40 seconds, defeating Dominic Mysterio. Not a bad match at all. It was I don't know if I would say it was real short, but I thought it might have been a little longer, maybe 11 to 12 minutes. So just maybe a few minutes shorter than I thought it was going to be, but not a bad match here. And next up, we have the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And this is the time I just started walking home from work. We have Damage Control represented with Io Sky and Bayley, the man Becky Lynch, the WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, Selena Vega, and Zoe Stark. This was another one I thought was just like the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, was also pretty entertaining. Had some pretty good spots in this one. And I enjoyed this one. And it is the finish sees Io Sky climbing the ladder, even handcuffing her Damage Control teammate and Becky Lynch, I believe it was, and to climb the ladder and reach the briefcase to become Miss Money in the Bank. Really good match here, I thought. And 18 minutes, 5 seconds, Io Sky could possibly be now either the WWE Women's Champion or the Undisputed Women's Champion, I believe they're calling it. And next up, the World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. The World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins defending against Finn Balor. Pretty good match here. And I'm going to say it was real great or anything, but it was a good match. And we did see an appearance from Senior Money in the Bank and Damian Priest, that is, I should say. And he was there. Finn Balor got a little distracted. They kind of teased on commentary, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, that he could possibly cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase here tonight, but that was not the case. And Seth Rollins defeats Finn Balor at 12 minutes 30 seconds to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty good match here. I thought Finn Balor looked pretty impressive, and he was upset with Damian Priest for coming out there. They had words after the match, and they, sorry for all the noise here in the 360 studios. And good match. And next up is the main event of this year's Money in the Bank Premium Live event, the Bloodline Civil War. It has all come down to this, and it is the Bloodline, or what's left of it, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, along with the wise man Paul Heyman, taking on the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. And I thought this one was a really good match. Sip of coffee break. And I thought this one was done really well, especially the finishing moments of this match were great. The Usos and super kicking Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and there was this one point where Jey Uso hit Roman with a super kick, and then Reigns came back with a Superman punch. Jey Uso with another super kick, and then Reigns hit him with a spear for a near fall. That I really enjoyed that spot in this match. And the finish sees the Usos get the win. My prediction about that was right, the Usos winning. But what I was wrong about, though, was who they pinned to get the win. I predicted this morning on Good Morning Wrestling Fans that they would pin Solo Sikoa to get the win. I thought, I apologize for all the noise again. And I thought they might protect Roman. But instead, it was Roman Reigns actually getting pinned in this one, as the Usos pick up the victory 32 minutes, and 10 seconds. Great main event. I thought, again, just want to say, I really enjoyed the main event. Thought it was done well. And the question is, though, is this feud between the Usos and Roman and their brother Solo over? And also, even if the Usos kind of move on, what happens with Solo and Roman? Does Solo Sikoa stay on the side of his cousin? Or did what the Usos said to him about Roman using him sink in, and maybe he'll leave Roman and go on his own? We'll have to find out this Friday on SmackDown. So that was the WWE Money in the Bank 2023 Premium Live event. And I'd have to say that this is a thumbs up show from me. Don't know about anybody else. You can leave your feedback, though, in the comment section right here on Spreaker or whichever podcast website or podcast app you are listening to on. Which was your pick for match of the night? Were you happy with the Money in the Bank ladder match winners? Also, what was your overall score for the pay-per-view or premium live event? Sorry. Again, I thought it was very good. And I know I have talked about sometimes I get a little annoyed by the England crowd sometimes, and today was no different. Of course, they did the silly Bailey song like they usually do, and then there was some other silly, ridiculous chants they did. Also, I skipped over something really big somehow. I don't know how I forgot about this. I didn't put it in my notes. I talked about how I didn't really take good notes, but middle of the show, we have a surprise appearance from none other than John Cena. And he says he wants to bring WrestleMania to London, which that's not a bad idea, but I don't know about having WrestleMania 3 in the afternoon. And I kind of think this was just a way, maybe Cena was just, because he is talking about how great the London crowd is, and maybe he was just kissing up to him so they wouldn't boo him out of the building, and he would be a top baby face there in London, England, but who knows. And he is interrupted by Grayson Waller, who says he wants to bring WrestleMania to Australia, which would probably be worse than WrestleMania being in London, because like Impact Wrestling, the Down Under tour this weekend, would probably have to wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. to watch WrestleMania. So, nothing against Australia, but wouldn't be a big fan of WrestleMania going there. Again, nothing against Australia. I'm sure it's a great country, but like I said, just having WrestleMania at 5 a.m. in the morning, I don't know if I would really care for that too much. Or, I don't know if anybody really, well, outside of Australia anyway, I mean, would care for that too much. And now that we have recapped Money in the Bank, let's go over to TNT for the third episode of AEW Saturday Collision on this action-packed Saturday night. Saturday nights for fighting. And this episode was the first taped Collision. Not live this week, was taped Thursday night in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And our commentators, once again, Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness, until the main event, which they are joined by a special guest commentator. And starting things off tonight on Collision, though, is the Collision in-ring debut of the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He is in action against Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's own Kip Morst. And this one, if you blink, you probably missed it. MJF destroyed this young man, getting the very quick win here. And MJF gets on the mic after, cuts a promo making fun of Canada, Hamilton, since that's a city they are in. And he again challenges anyone from Hamilton to come out and face him. And then this big guy comes out. I think they may have said his name. I'm not sure. If they did, I missed it. But as he is on the stage and about to make his way down the ramp to the ring, he is cut off by All Ego Ethan Page, who is also from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And he gets in the ring, cuts a very good promo actually about his father moving to Hamilton and getting a job there. And he challenges MJF to a match. And then we get that match. And this one was actually a pretty good match. And I know Ethan Page is a very good worker, but he was really good tonight. Probably the motivation of being in his hometown. But it is MJF picking up the victory in this one. Not too surprised, obviously, but I thought Ethan Page had a really good performance here tonight. They didn't bury him or anything. I thought they let him look pretty good in there against MJF. And next up, we have a match in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the Natural Dustin Rhodes. This is another one that I wouldn't say too surprised, but it was better than I expected it to be. Actually a very good match. Dustin Rhodes is busted open in this one. And he even hits Powerhouse Hobbs with a Canadian destroyer in Canada. But it is Powerhouse Hobbs defeating Dustin Rhodes to advance in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Powerhouse Hobbs, impressive in this one, getting the victory, but also Dustin Rhodes also looking very impressive in this match, even in defeat. And next up, Miro is in action, the Redeemer, taking on Anthony Henry of the Workhorsemen. Not a bad match here for what it was. Miro getting the win with Game Over. And next up, we have the legendary Tony Schiavone in the ring with Bullet Club Gold, Switchblade Jay White, Rock Hard Juice Robinson, and the newest members of Bullet Club, Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, the Guns. And I thought these four actually gave a pretty good interview in the ring. The Guns, very good as of late, good heels. And we get a response in the back. Lexi Nair is with FTR, Absolute Ricky Starks, and CM Punk. And next up is another match in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks. And this one I thought was a good match. And it is Ricky Starks advancing over Juice Robinson. After the match, Bullet Club Gold gets involved. And then FTR and CM Punk make their way to make the save for Ricky Starks. And the AEW TBS Championship is on the line as Chris Statlander continues her open challenge of defending the title against all comers. Tonight on Collision, she takes on Lady Frost. Good match here, I thought. And Chris Statlander picks up the win to retain the TBS Championship. Lady Frost looked very good in this match. Fan of hers. I think she's got a bright future. And Chris Statlander, so far this run as TBS champion, has definitely been very good, having some really good matches. And the main event this week on Collision, another match in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. We have Samoa Joe taking on Roderick Strong, with CM Punk joining Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness on commentary. Good match here, and I thought Kevin Kelly, Nigel McGuinness, and CM Punk on commentary did a good job talking about how these two, and not just them, but also Nigel and Punk, talking about how they were a big part of the history of Ring of Honor. And the finish of this match sees Samoa Joe get the kick in the clutch, locked on Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong does not submit, but he does pass out, and we get a referee stoppage. So Samoa Joe advancing in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Not only that, but we find out that Samoa Joe's next opponent will be none other than CM Punk. And like I said, Nigel and Kevin did a good job of putting over Punk and Joe's history in Ring of Honor. And after the match, Joe goes right back to Rock Strong, does a power slam on the steel chair. Punk leaves the announce desk gets in the ring. Joe exits with his Ring of Honor World Television Championship as Saturday Collision goes off the air. Once again, we will see Punk versus Samoa Joe in the semifinals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. And that was tonight's AEW Saturday Collision. I thought, once again, very good show. I know this week being taped for the first time, some people probably read the spoilers. Like I always talk about here on the podcast, that I do not read spoilers. And so I did not know what was going to happen on tonight's show. I thought it was a very good one. Some good wrestling. And so overall on this Saturday, we have 3, in my opinion, very good wrestling shows. Starting off very early this morning with Impact Wrestling's Down Under Tour. And once again, just a quick reminder, you can listen to the recap of that on this morning's episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, which, like I said, was a bit of a supersized edition, longer than most GMWF episodes, which I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and check the archives of it, but it could be the longest one in GMWF history so far. And then this afternoon, Money in the Bank, which there was a Money in the Bank press conference, nothing real notable, but maybe the most notable thing was Triple H was asked about, of course, bringing London to WrestleMania to London. He said it is definitely something they would like to do, but he said they'll have to figure it out. So he definitely did not say no, but he said they might work on it. And sorry about that. Thought I was going to sneeze. But he didn't say no, which I didn't think he would come out and say no anyway. And I didn't think he would actually say yes and announce it just yet either. But I would say London is definitely a possibility. Maybe we could see that in the next few years or so. WrestleMania coming back there. But other than that, and we had Damian Priest to speak, who was pretty entertaining. Also, the Miss Money in the Bank, Io Sky, along with Bayley, and Seth Rollins. And it was alright. It was kind of short too. It wasn't really all that long either, but not bad. And had a great day of pro wrestling overall, and hope to have more episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic coming at you real soon. But tomorrow we'll be back for the Sunday morning episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hope everyone had a great Saturday. Hope everyone enjoyed all the pro wrestling today. And remember, you can leave your feedback on all 3 shows. Impact Wrestling Down Under Tour, WWE Money in the Bank, AEW Saturday Collision on Spreaker in the comment section, or whichever podcast or podcast app you listen to on. And if they have a comment section, you can leave your thoughts and feedback. Also, on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And like I said, we'll be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Wrestling Fans, and I will talk to everyone then. But for now, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.